Good evening, everybody. Our Sunday Night Live is not going to be live. This is a pre-recorded video. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be home because Piper has a dance competition. So we're going to make a peekaboo slider card. I haven't got one made, but I've got all the bits. So I will show you my little template things that I've got, and then we will go to putting them together. There it is. So this card comprises of 3 pieces, which I've created little template thingies for to show you. So the first one is the front of the card. So this piece here, which is this bit here, is 8 inches across by 4 1/4 deep, and then you're going to score at 5 1/4, so you get this little flap here, and that's actually going to be at the back. So this panel here is the front of your card, which we're going to decorate. Right, so that's the front panel. The middle panel is a piece that is 4 1/4 wide, tall by 8 1/4 wide. Now that is pretty much the width of our A4 piece of card. So it's just cutting a piece that is 4 1/4 deep, and then you're going to score in half, which is at 4 1/8. All right, and I'll talk to you about the little holes in that very soon. And then the last piece is our back piece, and this is again 4 1/4, and then it's 5 1/2. Yes, 5 1/2. I changed this, and we're going to score on this last little bit here, which is at 5 1/4, or 1/4 of an inch. That piece there is going to have some tape attached to it, so let's do that now. You can see all my little notes on it. I hope everyone's had a good weekend and enjoyed. Hope it hasn't been too wet where you are. Right, so we're going to pop that on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our inside piece. Now I've got one of the retired punches, which is the 2-inch circle punch. I know they've brought back, I think it's the 2 1/4 that they've brought back. What we're going to do is we're going to punch a hole. You don't need a punch. If you've got dies, you can use dies, and if you've got dies, you can actually go through both of them at the same time. Don't punch through your cardstock, especially if it's the thick cardstock. Don't punch through that two layers together. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pop this in, and we're going to get it so that the edge of the card lines up with the edge of the I'm just going to bring it down a little bit, the edge of the punch, just so that it's going to be easier to line up later on. And we're going to punch that and keep that for later or something else. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over, and we're just going to pop some pencil marks just inside there, because we need to line this up again so that we are you can pop it in and just line it up with the edge of the punch that you already hit, because my circle wasn't very well. If you start to press down on the punch a little bit, it will kind of semi-lock, and that way you get 2 pieces, 2 holes, or 2 openings in the same place. They need to be lined up together. We need to make sure that we are making sure that our creases are nice and loose, so that our card will stay. So that's our center piece. This is the inside, so we're going to decorate this bit here because you're actually going to see this bit. So I have got the Zany Zoo set, which I'm going to use as my centerpiece here. I'm just going to grab, there it is, just going to grab my block with the Memento ink. I won't colour this in while you're watching, but we're just going to pop that there, and we're just going to stamp this cute little raccoon on this side of the fold. Put that out of the way, and then what we're going to do is, then you could decorate this side as well if you wanted to. There's not really a stamp that I want to put on there. There are, in the die set, there's some little balloons that you could decorate that with. Alright, so then we're going to close that up. We're then going to, I've chosen to use 2 different colours. So this is our back panel. And what we're going to do is this tab here that we've got here with the tape. Our score line is actually going to be on the left hand side. And what we're going to do is we're going to line this piece up here with the score line and with the edge of the card. I'm just going to get my head in your camera, sorry. It's probably not. No, it's not. It's just a little bit hard to see. Make sure it's on the fold. Okay, so we're just going to push that down once we're happy with it, and then that comes around this side here. I'm just going to use our bone folder there to make sure that that is nice and flat. Alright, so then when you see that opening there, we don't have an opening on the back, but we do have an opening on the front, which is our front panel here. Now our flap here on the right hand side, we're actually going to put on the left hand side, the same as this, and it's going to go on the front here. If you were going to stamp this to decorate it, you would do that now before you attach it all together. I've actually cut out some cute little characters from the designer series paper, which I'm going to use to decorate the front of my card. And so we're going to lie this in here. Before we do that, what we need to do is we need to have this lined up. I have it all open out. Line that up, and we're just going to punch. It just moved on me. I'm just going to punch that. Hopefully I'm in camera view. And hopefully I've been in camera view the whole time. So now you can see where the white edge is. We're just going to punch that. Oh, took out a little bit of white. Never mind. My punch needs a sharpen by the looks of that. So I'm just going to get my scissors. Actually, I'm just going to take that off with a nail file that I've got on my desk. So if you, this is like having one of those sanding blocks that we used to have. I don't want to get too much on there, but I just want to get that very bit off. Okay, note to self, don't use that on my nails. Paper everywhere. Alright, so this is then going to layer on the top there where your cutout is. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some adhesive all the way over there. And we're just going to get, remember, if you're using liquid glue, not too close to the edges because it will ooze everywhere. If you aren't a fan of liquid glue, then just make sure that you've got something that is quite firm. Alright, so now we're going to line this up again. I'm just tapping it on the table and then tapping it over so it fits right on the edge so that you don't have an overlap. Alright, so that's our front. This is our back, and there's our flap. Our back goes behind, our flap goes underneath, and then when we open, that slides under there like that. So when it's closed, we can actually see what's something in there. So that means that we can stamp a message or something there. So if we were to put this little tiny message, and because I've got it here, happy birthday to you. It is a bit small, but that's alright. I'll put that in there. Let me just use this to clean off my stamp a bit. There's another one. There's some confetti stuff. What's that? Music notes. Yeah. Let's do some music notes. And so now we know where it is. We can open that up a bit and do some music notes around the outside of it. Obviously not on it, but I turned this over because it was messy and I didn't want to distract the background for you, but now I don't want to stamp on it. Alright, so that is what we'll see when it is closed. Alright, when we open our card, then we have this panel here. Now you can either stamp directly on there. What you need is something slightly bigger so that you can't see the edge of it. Let me just see if I can find my bigger. I have a 2.5 inch stamp which I will punch, sorry, not stamp. I'll just cut out, and then you can see that you will be able to line this up here. Like that, and you'll be able to see. So that will then get attached to the back of this. I will just decorate that first. So what could we put there? The turtle was a little bit cute, so let's do him. Or maybe we could just do the raccoon again and get him, get the balloons and his little face. If we pop this in here so that it lines up how we want it. Put a couple little pencil marks. Sorry, it's late and the light's not great. So if we have him, oh, even just let's just go for some balloons. He's not quite gonna be there. Okay. Alright, so this is going to sit here, and I'm just going to leave that. Okay, no, you can see his face. Oh, that didn't go very well. That didn't go very well at all, because you can see that little bugger over there. So let me do this again on the other side. And I want to, I'm just going to put him right in the middle so we can see his face as well. Alright. I'm going to keep him black and white because why not? He's kind of cute. Like so. So that's where we want him to be sitting. So we're just going to open that up. Fold back this flap. Get our glue or our tape or whatever you want to use, and then just pop that in place there like that. Just give it a few seconds for it to adhere, and then we're going to pop that closed. So then I'm just I put happy birthday and actually wanted it as a holiday card. That's alright, that's okay. Can do something else with that. Scissors, where did you put your scissors? There they are. So these cute crafty little animals. The designer series paper has different themes. So and the stamp set has a mix of all of them. So one of them has outdoor pursuits, so they're like, you know, tramping and stuff like that. And another one has dancing animals on it. Another one has relaxation, which is what these ones are. I can't remember what the other one is. Oh, transportation. And then party, which is the raccoon one. It's like party animals. Who do I know that's crafty that I'd like a birthday card like this? You're reading a book, baking some cookies. Okay, so I've got I'm just going to do some background stamping in tone on tone, and I'm just going to use the birthday sparkle thingies just to kind of give some texture to the card. You could emboss this. You could pop some designer series paper on, which I kind of thought about doing, but didn't have any that matched the stamp set and the colour card that I'd chosen to use. So no, don't do that, Kelley. You're not going to see this bit, so you can go a little bit over if you need to. Alright, so there we have our card. And so it says happy birthday to you, and you open it up and you've got this sweet little raccoon, and I'm going to put this knitting llama in there too. I'll colour in the, am I going to put the knitting llama there? No. How about we go something to celebrate. Something great to celebrate you. Let's put that there. And there's the end. So that's what it looks like, and then it'll sit up as well, but it will sit up and pop open a little bit, but you won't see the full message. But that is our little cute card. Now if you've done what I've done and not got it coloured in beforehand, it does just pop open quite nicely, that you can, if you've missed something to decorate it, that back flap doesn't get adhered down. Alright, so I hope you have a go with that. Please do, I'll pop a post up so that you can pop your cards on. Sorry, I forgot to do that last week, and thank you, Karen, for reminding me. Before I go, I will quickly just show you my templates again. So the first one is the front panel, and that is 8 inches across, 4.5 inches deep, and then score at 4 1/4, and that's your front piece. I found it easier to write that and then put notes on, like that panel is actually where I decorate. This piece is going to be the inside of it, and then the left hand side is that goes towards the back, so you've got to have that panel on the back. Then your inside piece, 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, scored in half. You're going to end up with 2 windows. It doesn't have to be a circle, it can be whatever. You need to make sure that they line up together, and then on this front panel here, that's where you need to put your adhesive. So I wrote a note for that as well. All right, the rest is loose. And then our back piece actually is a little bit back to front, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, and then you actually use it this way, put some tear and tape, and that gets attached to the back of our first, or the right hand side of the inside panel. Okay, so those are all of the measurements. All of them are 5 1/4 deep, and they will fit into a standard envelope. All right, happy stamping. See you on Wednesday. Bye for now.